G'day viewers, how you doing? In this morning's stream chat, Aiden asked about setting up banking comm on Sandpatch Grade. So I've jumped into service Q353, which is an AC4400 service. So we've got two AC4400s on the front, and if we go flying along the train, we're here in Cumberland Yard at the bottom of the Sandpatch Grade. We should find some relatively colourful things that I'm guessing have been left over from Creators Club. But we've got two more locomotives on the back, and one of those would appear to be something from Creators Club as well. That's okay. Alrighty, so we'll pop back in here. Now, when you're setting up these locomotives, it's really important, and this is most important on the older routes. The most important thing that you need to do is actually turn on banking comm first. So I'm actually trying to find the radio. There it is. So we push the push to talk button before we do anything else. And that, oh sorry, on this one it's the DISP button. My apologies. So DISP button and banking comm has gone on. So that means that everything we do in this locomotive will get copied, if you like, to the other one. So let's get set up. Let's get some headlights on. Go up to brights, bright plus auxiliary actually, so we get the flashy ones. And if we come into this screen and go into air brakes, so we'll just press 1, and we want to cut them in. So we're going to cut in, and we're going to go into lead, and then we're going to save changes and exit. So that should now have been copied to our robot driver down the back. Because what banking comm simulates is that you're chatting away on your radio to another driver in that second set of locomotives that's down the back. So it's a little bit like, if you like, it's a little bit like, what's the best way to put it? I need to plug in my rail driver. My rail driver is not plugged in. Let's just, there we go. Plugged in the rail driver. I hope this works. We've got a bit of power on. There we go. Okay, so, and we should, if we release the brakes, I'll just leave the loco brake on for now. That'll start pumping up the brakes in the train while we chat and go and set up other things. We've got to try and remember where the safety systems are in this, because we're going to want some stuff on. The refrigerator. Yeah, you want to turn that on, don't you? Got to get the beer cold. Distributed power doesn't actually matter, but we can turn that on. Doesn't matter at all. PTC doesn't actually have a switch. This one might be older than safety systems, I'm wondering. Maybe. I'm not seeing much else in here. Window heaters, road crossing lights, radio. Radio is very important to be on. If you get a locomotive that the radio's not on, you need to turn it on before you get into banking comm or it won't work. Right, so that should be fine anyway. Is there anything else we can turn on in here? Any other cabinets we can open? So this one doesn't appear to have a switch anywhere to turn on your safety systems, which is interesting. Now we should have down here engine run, which is on, which is great. Gen field will turn that on, and control was already on, so that's fine. And might want some gauge lights, why not? Let's jump back in the chair. So now I'm going to use the keyboard shortcuts to try and turn on safety systems. We'll see what happens. So if we go Control Enter and Shift Enter. Okay, we've turned warning devices on, so that's good. So we have an alerter. And that's going off right now, so we can do that. Now, an interesting way to check is if you jump out of the cab and come flying down to the back locomotives, what we should see is it's able to power. So if we come all the way down here, it might be a little bit hard to see because we're going to have to look in the window. Yeah. Can we open the window? We can open the window. Look at that. So it's got nothing on the brakes right now. There is brake pressure in the brake line and it's still coming up. We need that to get up to about 90 pounds. So that's still pumping away happily. We've got a little while to go. In fact, if we look at this screen, it's a bit clearer, isn't it? That's much easier to see. Can we press buttons on this? No, can't. But we should... I can't see the... Actually, I can see it. The gen switch is on. See that middle switch here? Just under the little dot, the reticle thing? that is on, so that has copied that setting. It's not in, or is it? Is it in forwards? I think it is in forwards. Yeah, so I think we're okay. We don't need to worry about what the brake handles are doing because the brakes in this are cut out and should stay that way, so that should be fine. But what should happen, the rear of the train's up to 81 pounds now, so we're getting there. We might start applying some power, so if I pop back into this cab and I'll just put the throttle into notch 1. See how it's starting to build some effort? See effort 3, 4. We're not going to go anywhere because I haven't released the brakes. And let's just pop back to this outside cam and go all the way up the back again. What we should see is it's starting to build some effort as well. Because if we do, we've successfully turned on banking comm, and that's about it. Because invisible radio driver up here would start doing it. Yep, and we have, see? So we're in notch 1 and we're starting to build some effort. So if I go into notch 2 up the front, we'll see that copied here. There we go, it's working. So I'll release the brakes. This engine's starting to push, the ones up the front are starting to pull, and off we go, just like that. So that really is all you pretty much have to do to start moving. My throttle's joggling about because it's rail driver, and rail driver does that. And for those people who tell you that rail driver joggling about's new to the game and they wrecked it in Train Sim World 5, well, I'm sorry. This is sandpatch grade. Hasn't been touched since Train Sim World 2. See what that's doing? You see it? Can you see it? Yeah! Did it all the time. You just conveniently forget that, don't you? But anyway, that's fine. That's my little dig at some creative people. We can see our alerters ticking down there, so I can press the button to push that back to 0. But anyway, that's it. That's banking comm in a nutshell. So what are the key things to remember? You need to make sure your radio switch is on, and this locomotive it already was, so I didn't need to do anything. And you need to turn on banking comm, and in this one it's the DISP button. So it's the old way. In the modern ones it's PTT, push to talk. But you push that button and the little hover text will go banking comm on, and from that point onwards everything you do in the front will get copied to the one in the back where there's a pretend driver driving the locomotive that you're talking to over the radio, because that's what banking comm is. It's not DPU. DPU is automated. This is pretending that there actually is another driver back there. And in the later DLC in Train Sim World, you will actually see the other driver in the cab. But in this one, sandpatch grade, this is pretty old. This comes from Heavy Haul, long time ago. Look at that, I'm speeding. Oh no. It doesn't have that second driver in the rear cab. So banking comm only gets copied to the lead locomotive of the set. In more recent DLC, you will sometimes see a mid-train locomotive or locomotives. Banking comm works on those as well, so it'll copy it to those ones and it'll copy it to the others. The reason it doesn't matter on the ones that are directly connected to you and the ones that are directly connected to this one, so it's happening on the black one, it won't be happening on the one behind it, because the one behind it, the CSX loco, is in fact directly controlled by the one it's connected to. And it's the same as the 3 locomotives behind me, oops, wrong button, are directly connected to the one that I'm connected to. So as we make our way out of the yard going way too fast, banking comm is working fine. I haven't played sandpatch grade in so long. I'm not going to record it for this tutorial, but you know, I might just take this thing up the hill. Might just do that, because it's been such a long time since I've actually been in sandpatch grade. And it looks okay. I don't recall sandpatch grade getting any kind of significant upgrade throughout its life. So, may have had a little one, because I did notice that out of the 3 switches, fuel, control and gen, Gen was off, like it should be. That's prototypical. But fuel and control were on, which is prototypical. Because without fuel and control being on, guess what? That diesel's not running. That was a little bit of a mistake made in the early days. Perhaps it has had a little bit of an update for something like that. That is possible. Just need to reset the alerter again. Otherwise it would have gone bleep, 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 as it does. We're still going a little bit too fast, but we can fix that quite easily by turning it off. Just keep on cruising out through the yard. Because I don't know about you, on the Heritage Railway that I run on, 15 miles an hour, more than enough. Because I'm running a steam engine, there's so much to do, there's so much to think about, there's so much to concentrate on. I'm actually kind of grateful that it's 15 mile an hour. But in a big long yard like this one, you probably don't want to take that long getting out of the yard. And yes, in reality, my train probably would have turned upside down going through those points back there, and that's fine. So we can just keep on cruising along. Got a shunting signal here, so we're fine. As we make our way onto the main line, leaving Cumberland Yard in the township of Cumberland, before we head up the hill on Sandpatch Grove. So we've got a little bit further downhill to go yet. Oh yeah, it's America. I drive on the wrong side of the tracks. Forgot about that. Ooh, look at those trees doing evil things up there on the hill. Is all that hooting necessary? No, but that's what they do. 2 longs, 1 short, 1 long on the approach to every crossing, unless they're marked as silent crossings. We're leaving the township of Cumberland now, and we'll start our way up the grade fairly shortly. Now, if you don't turn on banking comm in the way that I did it there, fair chance is you actually won't get up the hill. So it's important to turn it on. Oh yeah, this route has radio comms too. I forgot about that as well. Anyway, we're cruising on quite happily. We are actually starting on the up gradient now. It would be quite a while before it... Actually, no, I lie. We're not starting on the up gradient yet. We're on the level. Look at that. I think I just got a reward for something. Seems exciting. Going via Hind me. But anyway, I'm not going to record it for the tutorial. But I may just keep playing and doing this, because, you know, it's been a long time. We'll see. Anyway, now you've seen how to turn banking comm on. It's the same for the SD40-2s, which I think are the other locomotives on this route. It's the same for the other livery, the YN2 livery, on the AC4400 DLC, if you have that one. And, yeah, turn it on first before you do anything else. That's the key. So, look for a switch for radio, make sure that's turned on. So the switch will be on the back panel. In the SD42s, it's inside a cupboard behind the engineer's position. And then turn on banking comm on the actual radio itself, which in this route is an old one, so it's the DISP button, and that turns it on. In the more modern routes like Sherman Hill and Horseshoe Curve and Cajon Pass, it's the PTT button turns it on. You don't need to do it in the passenger trains. I haven't found any passenger trains where there's push-pull or anything of that nature. So, yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. But if you've got any questions, chuck them down below in the comments and I'll see what I can do to help you out. But this is to get this train moving and get it on its way up the hill, which we are now starting to climb. Alrighty folks, have fun, and we'll leave this guy running up Sandpatch Grade while we close out this tutorial here. So again, thanks for watching, hope you got something out of it, hope it was useful, and we can see a bit of cute Creatives Club stuff floating around in older routes that we've completely forgotten about because we haven't been in here for years. Alrighty, have fun folks, see you later, bye!
We played a game.